we're officially up now, I should say.
We walked through it.
Oh, there it is. Ickle. Test, ickle. Hoo-hoo. Brent has a tiny penis. You good? Okay. Yeah.
I walk in to see people fucking into it.
Is this on right now? Just trying to learn from because they did the live streaming camera on hole one.
Oh, yeah, you said the one. Yeah, especially like some. Yeah. You have 105 going out, everyone asking. Scorekeepers. JC Park. One of them probably yeah, so I've actually been trying to get this one to the J.C. Park. That's not really the park. Like, if you believe this, like, it's so confusing. Yeah. Random people say. Well, someone got some worry. Not even me barely asking. Guidance on stalling on a whole record. But I mean, the whole thing, they got. That's a lot of work. Yeah, so I don't. Yeah. No, we can't hear. What's your salary? I don't think that's. That's great. Yeah. Really? Okay. I like that. Yeah. Do you have like a? There you go. Yeah, 6 years later. We're trying to run. Yeah, I know for me too, like ratchet up. Then again, it's harder to get people who are not like really established community
Company that have a line out in the background during the meeting.
Wasn't the theme on the floor?
Oh, is it?
I thought the 4 o'clock meeting.
But I would be very happy.
Well, and that's why
Oh, yeah. 4 o'clock meeting.
It was sitting there when I got here.
Okay, cool. I just said that. You just have to learn.
Well, yeah, I mean, so they usually do that like a couple months.
Gotcha.
Questions.
No, yeah, you mentioned it, I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're coming your way, Miles. Here you go.
I'm also. Yeah. Yeah. Always. I could decide. Be intentional with that. I don't know if it's actually really a lot of stuff. It has the old stamp. Yeah. Yeah. So this crap, Black Friday, videos. We found these houses of this that.
Sure.
Of course.
Talking to the guys. It's together.
Oh, yeah, we were at lunch and there some of them there. Yeah. He actually showed me those things.
Yeah.
That's actually. Yeah.
Are you? I should probably share this link with you. I have already sent it to you. I said I just sent it to you. Yep.
I don't want to take up two seats.
Yeah, like my whole she's down with when I like yeah, I like
Oh, I always make food.
yeah, I was
I only try to find out. My daughter, usually if it's not.
Yeah.
But I feel like I try to. Right. You know, they're like, oh, I'm only spending $5, so even if I still get food. Anybody didn't sign in yet? There's a sign-in sheet back there. Please sign in. So it's like thinking about it's been 5 years. Yeah, another person asked me.
Yeah, like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the answer.
Do it, yeah.
There you go.
That's what it is.
What makes you happy? Right.
Yeah, like I remember that.
Like when we have.
All right, you win. I'm really glad. Good luck.
I've been on.
Yeah, like one.
How fun is it? Right, Grand Blanc still has. Yeah, it's like they do it once in a while. We have one right now.
Right. I mean, that's like
Oh, yeah. Right.
Well, they said it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's.
Oh, yeah, that's our
Right.
All four of us are, even though we only eat one pair.
Oh, yeah.
All four of us.
That's why I'm in the grocery store, buzzing through them. Want to stay over the kids. Yeah.
Yes.
They threw the stuff. Yeah. Everybody sign in back there.
For sure, it wasn't.
What's your favorite angsty
Shoegazer Mark.
I actually just saw that last night. That's like a really that's where like
I would see, like, I want to see them all. It was rancid dropping. That's fun. Like, the kids together, you know.
It's like hard work.
Right. Is it G or C? That's.
Are you gonna pass this out?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you can read them over.
There's Keith's one?
Yes, Keith's version. I don't know if I made the print big enough though.
Absolutely. Oh, he came with most likely those guys.
Especially.
Oh, I can tell you what that number is if you want. If we want to, like, I know what that number is now. No, because remember I told you how many additional there were. There's 69 additional ones. So there's actually 720, 69, or 799.
Okay. That can be changed.
That's fine. Yeah, I was letting you know.
Or actually.
So, no food and health check or
yeah, no, yes, you get 30 hang out together. Yeah, it's swipe. And things start happening. Is this your size, Evan? Yeah, sorry.
I don't remember, but when I did. When I reached Brazil, I checked back.
I submitted for first. That I was on that list. Because I just had the thought, it was like, I did email Nacho, didn't I? It's like, I did email him for hers, and the extra one it was. If I did it, I would be here. I'm telling you, it's my life.
Jeff and I are actually. Yeah, correct. I was gonna wait until the chat.
This not even my seat.
I just when I was going around talking to people, I was just,
No, we want to know all your secret conversations.
well, I only do that at Deagle. There it is. That's how I pronounce it. So I know for sure.
The second season is better. I don't care about soccer now, but like I have to keep up just because I like the show. All these get real high.
FSU got you.
Like for Amber to be so that's like because you're invested like in that town. Like what the town is doing.
Start slow.
We got par plus 4. We got par plus 4 on the first one. I got par plus 4 on the first.
Yep, for first topic. Yep. I thought it would be yeah. Who's the rules, man? They were late, so it's all
He just kind of like, that's one of the things I wish I was going to be at.
Well, I'm going to go over some of the quick things that affect tournament directors, just not all the player stuff. Okay. I don't know what that even is.
I want to go model it, but see where we like, so it's like an expo, a trade show, but like, I think we can pull off a better one than less. Like, rent one of these slants, and we'd be like, all right, everyone pay for a swap.
Yeah.
Something to do in the winter, you know what I mean? Maybe put a flex start near it and a little course. Run that.
All right, we'll get started here. All right, welcome everybody to what I am planning on to be the final planning meeting for the 2024 season. I'd like to thank you all for making it here on this beautiful Sunday. So first thing we'll go over is PDGA sanctioning. If you have sent me a schedule or just one event, it doesn't really matter. And as long as it's not highlighted pink on that schedule, it is approved. You're free to sanction your events, even if you just submitted to me a couple days ago. They are now all in there. They're all approved, as long as it's not highlighted in pink. And I don't think it's anyone else in this room. I talked to people who were affected by that. So if you had submitted it and you didn't know it was approved, they are now all approved. So feel free to go and sanction those whenever you'd like. As well as the forums will remain open. Some people, don't know because they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna make some changes." People make changes to the schedule all year long, changing where it's at, tier, adding events, subtracting events. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. This you can just go directly to the forum, and I would say it's always helpful if you send me an email. Let me know too, because I have. Well, maybe I'll turn the notifications back on. I turned them off when everyone was doing them in mass because I didn't want a ton of notifications, but I can turn the notifications back on too. But it's always good to email me about any changes you have on there. And I don't need that note on there because I did sit here and do everyone's events. So one of the big topics is for 2024 silver feature events. We had 2 spots we had 1 spot that was open. We have 2 people who was requesting to run this. One was Disc Baron and the other one was Leprechaun Hollow. Both did meet the minimum guidelines for this tier for our rules, and they're both not on probation. So we could put both of them on a voting ballot, which I can start tonight. I did know he's not here, but there was a topic brought up of we're going to be short a bronze spot, and if we wanted to offer the loser of the silver spot one of those bronze spots, I don't see that as a big option. What I didn't want to do originally was if people fought out in silvers and then they got bumped down, and then they would potentially bump somebody out of bronze. But if there's an open spot and one of those clubs would rather run a bronze versus nothing, I don't see a big deal with them doing that. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
We have 1 bronze opening right now.
Well, there will be once there's bronze. All the bronze is always renewed every year. So we'll get to that spot, but there will be an open spot in bronze when we're done. So would there be a motion but first of all, to accept those two clubs, Disc Baron and Leprechaun Hollow, for a Silver Series vote? All of those who approve. All right. So that will bring me to the bronze feature events. We did have 5 people who submitted. We have Blue Skies, Duck Pond, Aeronautic, Club Kensington, and Acorn Hills. So on that list of people, Acorn Hills does not meet the minimum requirements. You're supposed to be an MDGO member for 1 year, and they just joined really like in October. So I don't believe that they meet the minimum qualifications to be on the vote for that. So I guess technically we have 2 open spots in the bronzes now, and potentially we would fill one of those with the loss of the loser of the silvers. There still will be 1 opening, and I'd recommend just taking those berths and not giving everyone an extra 1. We can just go with 1 down. It's like 6 less that we're going to distribute or whatever. So. So we set aside extra berths at each tier level. So the bronze, we're getting so many allocated to them. And so people had some concerns last year that they were getting extras while other people were not. So they would still get the number they're supposed to get. They just wouldn't get any leftovers that were left in that pool. Nope, because the deadline's closed. Yes. Yep.
And we're short a silver spot. Why not just take the bronze spot in the morning? Well, one of those 2 is going to be. I mean, if we're short, so we have plus many.
Yeah, the silvers go for 2 years is the thing, and the bronze do only go for 1. So in a 1-year scenario, yeah, agreed. It'd be probably okay, but in future years we would be shorting ourselves. Yes.
Being that the silvers are already up for vote next year, like all the ones that currently they're already up for vote next year. I don't see a problem being that next year all the silvers are going to have to refit anyway, but they want to continue doing the silver thing. They don't get used. There's just 6 spots that don't get used.
No, so there's actually more birth spots than there are actually spots in the fields available. Because there's never 100% of them ever get used. So what we're saying is, yeah, we're going to short 6 to a feature event that, in theory, we would have given away. Yeah. This doesn't affect the field of states. You guys can have a seat, whatever you like.
Awesome, thank you. Sweet. We'll have a couple more coming in.
I was gonna say, is Jennifer coming?
Yep, they're right behind us.
Ah, okay. Thanks. So are you guys fine with not having Acorn Hills on the ballot since they did not meet the minimum requirements?
I mean, if you don't meet the minimum requirement.
Right. I just wanted to bring it up, and people didn't know I was unilaterally making such a decision.
Sorry, Mark, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, and that was set up just so like this scenario doesn't happen. People off the street just roll in and say, "Hey, I'm running a feature event." Yeah, right. And it's only 1 year. It's not like we're saying you have to be forever to be a running a bronze. I think 1 year is an appropriate number. Can someone open up a random number generator? Because that's actually how I meant to start off the meeting. I need a number 1 through 33. Who's number 13? They'll be on the other side sheet.
It is Mark Cruz.
Mark Cruz. Who's door prize? All right. So is there a motion to basically accept these 4 spots that we have who met the requirements? True qualified, correct? Yep. All those who think this is a great idea? All right. Thank you, guys. One other next thing I want to talk about is the bonus women's and master berths that we created last meeting. Some people had some questions about, what happens if I get these berths and I can't give them away. So this is how I think we should handle it. So if a club has purchased these bonus berths and they cannot award them for some reason, they can award them to another club who can award them at one of their events. But the club that requested them are still responsible for reporting them. And if they can't either award them and then they still can't find someone else to give them to, since these were just bonus berths, you getting some did not affect me getting any. I think we should be fine if people don't, if for some reason or another they cannot award those berths, the masters or the women's. However, there's no refunds, so basically you have just wasted your money, in theory. But it doesn't affect anybody. So I think we should be fine if you take on these extras, women's and berths, trying to help more women and masters get into the state championships. And if you don't award them, it's not a big deal because no one was out anything. Everyone was offered one of each. I mean, ideally, yes. Well,
Basically, what you're saying is we get in trouble for not reporting the extra ladies or masters. We can only get in trouble for reporting the 6 that we get in
yes.
standard.
Yes.
First reporting rules apply to the club first.
Right. Yeah. So these were.
These aren't considered club first.
Yeah. And I think it's just the, well, say for some reason you run lots of tournaments, but it's like say a smaller club. Okay, but say a smaller club only runs like 1 or 2 events, got these extra berths, and like I don't know, maybe they didn't get any master age or women they plan on giving away to. And then like they're looking around like, how am I going to get rid of these? I don't want to get in trouble. I got them because I wanted to give them away, and then I couldn't. I was just trying to make a mechanism for people who are trying to help grow the state championships in those divisions don't get penalized for it. For some reason or another, they could not find a person to give away to. Yes, Jennifer.
I would take women's bird because I only get
Sure.
so I mean like one usually gets one at
Yes, Jennifer.
If, say the women give away all their births for the masters, not for the men, so just transfer the births to women or vice versa.
No, because they're different pools, but yeah, yeah. Yes.
So on the recording link on the MDGO website that we're using now.
Yes.
Will we have an option for, these are my clubbers I'm recording, this is my official 1-in-1.
Yeah.
So that way you can still record your verse, notify you guys that your clubbers has been recorded, and then that this is me recording my official verse.
Yep. I was gonna have I was gonna have those separated out, as well as give you all the ability for people who like get like the bigger number for your feature events, that you can do them all at one time and not have to do the form 18 times. Yep.
So that way, if for whatever case I think I award my one at our master's first, at my tournament, but I can award it at somebody else's, if you award it at earlier time.
Yep.
It's still fit in the slot to let you guys know that it's.
Yes. Yes.
Can we at least acknowledge people that can't get the birth
Yeah, you second that motion.
Whoa.
But in all seriousness, there are some really large clubs in the state, and if you get to like late June and you don't know how to get rid of your masters and your women's birth, like reach out to the people that play around Ann Arbor, Lansing League, Grand Rapids League.
The disc golf, yes.
It still has to be awarded.
What was that? No CTP. Yeah.
So it's safe to say that it still has to be awarded according to the first process.
Correct. Anybody? Anything else? So I know this was a really long statement I wrote up. So I will put this in the notes in this fashion. But basically, is there a motion to accept it as I described this process of the extra births? All right. Motion passed. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm gonna stop talking for a minute. I will turn this over to the birth committee. Oh, you want me to do talking for you?
No, you can keep talking. No. I gotta wear this thing though. First.
So just in case anyone wants to know, we did do a total of 69 extra births for the +1s for women, +4 for men. So it was basically near 70 that we got more up in the wild as part of that process. Thank you for people who do it.
And then, so are we going to want me to discuss also the disciplinary action from this year?
Yes, both.
Okay. So first, the packet that everybody has, this is our birth process. It's taken some slight minor changes according to the votes that have happened. The first one being through birth acquisition, the third line number of births. It's changed to 36 births now for the Michigan Masters and Michigan Women's Series. So that's just reflecting that vote that took place last month. And then there's also the line item 7 under birth acquisition, which just covers essentially what Mark was talking about. Clubs and entities may also request up to 2 additional births to be awarded in Masters Division and Women's Division. And all the lines underneath are just covering essentially what Mark talked about. So it is part of the process now. And then through birth reporting, second page, number 4, the line item number 3 has changed to reflect how the reporting process works. So that's essentially all has changed on our process. There's a few small punctuation and language changes made, but it's nothing substantial that changes the process in its entirety. So we have that. We also have our disciplinary action for this year. We had one club did not pick up their burse, which was Driftwood. According to the birth committee's disciplinary guidelines, they will receive 1 tier drop in burst for the year for not picking up. And then we have the big fun one, which was Heisernauts did not report their burst for this year, their club burst. They were already on probation this year for non-reporting from 2022. So the birth committee's proposal to the group to vote on for them would be a 1 tier drop due to the probation violation. And then they would receive a 2 tier drop according to the guidelines since they picked up, but they did not report their burst. And then they would still be on probation for an additional year. That is what the birth committee is proposing to the group to vote on. So does anybody have discussion about that? Probation just, in short, don't fuck around and you won't find out. That's all probation is just behave. Behave.
You can't apply for any. Cannot. You have to be in good standing with the organization. And then if failure, and I think we talked about this time, if they violated again, they would be suspended.
It would be more severe action because they were already on probation this year, which is just telling them behave, do what you're supposed to do, follow the process. They did not behave, so we have to consider what else should we do to this club since the 2 years in a row they can't keep it together.
What tier were they on, and then what was the penalty?
Last year they were on tier 6, so that dropped them down to tier 5 this year. Because of this 3-tier drop would take them down to tier 2 if we vote to approve that in this meeting. So it's
I'll make the motion to accept the committee's recommendation. Second.
okay. So that would be for Heisernauts. For Driftwood, it's just a 1-tier drop. Vote to approve that.
All those motion passes.
That pretty much covers all the birth committee stuff. The only other thing, since we're on the topic of births, would be the FE committee, considering that also applies to the same group, Heisernauts.
Oh, correct. So yeah, they were due to have run a feature
Yes.
this year. They will not be this year.
Yes. So I don't know if anybody from the FE committee is here.
I thought we.
Yeah, I thought we already
I
covered.
think we last
Okay.
meeting.
That was covered last meeting, that they're not, okay. So,
Yes.
Real quick, since it's on this paper, are we getting our one birth back for the club this year, or for next year?
Nacho will go over that part in a minute.
What's that?
Nacho has the births all mapped out. We'll go over that in a minute. Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean, though?
Yeah, because last year we
Yep,
lost
yep,
one.
Yep. First of all, once again, I really like the way you get the dropping tiers versus just not getting any more births ever again for like a year or two.
I think it's
I think
probably
that's a much more
better
fair and equitable way to
process.
do it, and I'm happy that you guys came up with that.
Relegation.
I guess since we're also on the topic, for people to know the disciplinary guidelines, if you don't pick up your bursts, you take a 1-tier drop. If you don't report your winners, either partially or in their entirety, you take a 2-tier drop. If you improperly award your bursts, CTP, raffles, longest putt type deal, that's all covered in the process. It's a loss of burst for 1 year and a loss of 2 tiers of seniority. So that's the guidelines that the birth committee has come up with for how to approach people if they violate. So just to let people know that.
So do we want to vote to accept this revised document?
There is minor changes, so I guess we should vote to approve it. It would be line item 1.7, the addition of that, the increase of the burst, but those were voted on and approved last month. And then the 4.3, which is just covering how you report. It changed from emailing Nacho to going to a link. So I guess vote to approve our new document 2.1. Okay,
Thank you very much, guys.
I did it.
I have one more than you. So without, so one last, yep. Oh, well, we're gonna do one of the shop topic, then we're gonna take a break, which I will encourage everybody to eat food at that point. Yes. So the fundraiser discs, we are mid fundraiser disc order right now. If anyone didn't see, we have 4 molds. We have a X swirl zone, which is, it's not the old X plastic, it's a new X plastic, so it's a lot more durable than the old stuff you guys may be thinking of. We have a Z-Lite Raptor. I don't know if you've seen, but Discraft has really been pushing those Z-Lite drivers, and so they offered us the Raptor, which I thought was great. We are getting a fly-dyed crystal cicada. So it's gonna be a crystal cicada that Keith has volunteered to fly dye for the MDGO at no cost. So Discraft is gonna run all the discs. Actually, they've already ran them, and they're gonna stamp those ones. They're gonna send those up to him right away. He's gonna fly dye them, then they're gonna send them back, and then they're gonna get them stamped. And then we have a Shimmer Crystal Buzz SS. So those are the 4 molds that we can get. I believe they're all only $12 to the clubs. You have to double check that. It's on the price list. Orders are due tomorrow, however. So if you have not ordered any, please do so. And as always, we're not getting paid until February. So, you know, you don't need to pay right now, but we do need your numbers right now. Yep. So, end of the day tomorrow is the guideline on there. Everyone get your stuff in there. Looks like we're gonna have a good number of discs on all the runs, because there's those numbers too. But remember, all the FEs come with a limited edition disc too. So those all those runs are probably all be over 500 discs in their run numbers in total. So just want to remind everybody the orders are due tomorrow, and like I said, they're for everybody. Everybody in MDGO can order one. So there's always a little bit of confusion on that. And at this point, why don't we take a quick little break, grab some food. I'm not sure all what's back there, but thank you very much for bringing that. And let's take about a 10-minute break, or probably 15.
Hey, Mark. Hadn't even thought about that time yet.
Oh.
And then nachos are.
Oh. Yeah, the Sixers have waged on way. I do that Excel, grab some Excel.
Do we have any more of these?
Yep.
Very successful.
I think it was emailed earlier before.
Mr. Marks.
I never got any of those emails. I haven't been, I've been getting some, I've been here and there, and some I don't get, so I missed my emails. I'm not.
Yep. Look.
It's the final date over.
Yep.
I missed them this year.
And they
I'll still
tomorrow.
get them next year.
Okay,
At the same month.
Okay, order just a couple.
Thank you.
I read this.
Yep.
Okay.
You get 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll knock 35 off that.
Okay, cool.
So we could get this worked out sometime today, probably right now in this instant.
Yeah. Yeah, we're way over. I didn't think it was that bad.
We've always said we're not tying ourselves to a full field thing.
It's just the summer.
I think it's
Yeah, no, we understand. It's live. Yeah.
Because, part of the reason was because we always had good this craft first, but now we're buying stuff. Every birthday selling.
I hear you're no longer a stag. Oh, somebody just taking you off the market. Or someone my wife.
Yes, like you said,
We present to them, and if people say no, then we'll have to make cuts. I mean, we have it in the versions. Giving it version. Before I hire someone who already got down the house, trying to all this. Use all the gold and silver, and not using 10 of the bronze.
I felt I was there.
Well, if you would have put it on them, yeah. Because he's the one helping you. It wouldn't take it even if you tried. Because I'm, like I said, I'm getting half the emails I did. And I've been going through it. I don't see. And Pat's pissed too because he's had problems getting into his. And that was right after we were here for the first year. So he's out for Stanford not being able to get in because he had email problems. So it's all good.
I'll try to see how many the bronze actually get. That's what I'm doing. So how's Jeff's eye? Oh, he didn't? Here it is. Bronzes get 6. And I also sent out a message too. Hey, I don't see us like giving out 7 and 1 more, like super saturated or anything. So it's 7 and 1 spread across the and so I don't see it being big. Also buy yeah. Or you just say like just we discuss that to full fuel I wanted to I forgot it. No, but I would no. I was gonna tell you this over the next points. I was overcoming. I was
Yeah, I woke up and driving out of
Hey, Brian Frawley, can you give me another random number? Things calm down a little bit. Everything else on set. How long has it been work now? Yeah. Well, not even that. That was like in the summertime. That was not wintertime travel. So are you determining what's carried in the stores at a higher corporate gets pushed down? I figured that. Right, I get you. I mean, like reordering too to make sure like this stuff's going down low or no or. Okay, because like when they make orders, I'm assuming they probably like make orders like all the stores in Michigan. Oh, true. Awesome. Yeah, I've never been down. Really cool building. It was also a lot less downtown than I was going to be, so it's pretty easy to get on and off the highway. I mean, it was still downtown. It was, I thought it was part of downtown. That was my concern too. And they had like there's like a parking lot and a parking ramp. And I just thought like ahead of time. It's like, oh, your ticket includes you parking at our facility. So I was like, I've been looking around like nearby parking structures, like parking in. Yeah, not right now. Parking takes a while. All right, we have another winner.
Now he's got two. Now he's got two. I have plenty of
That's why I walked over there. I'm like, I think Chris already has one sitting there.
Oh.
I'll see what's here. All right, our next topic is going to be the 2024 birth request.
Thank you. So we have this year 321 requests for just club births. That is over our limit of 248. Mark has proposed, and I kind of agree with, we could just issue the 321 as we haven't filled states since we added the new caps yet. Theoretically, it doesn't hurt any draw because it's 71 births distributed across the state. So it's not really flooding any one particular market. Right now, to accommodate, every single club that requested would lose one, which would mean a bunch of first-year clubs don't even get a birth this year, essentially. So figuring out a distribution with just a reduction to accommodate the number isn't really possible. So adding more, which when we're trying to build some of the pools anyway, I don't think is going to necessarily hurt the process.
I like it.
Because before, just like we talked about last time, that number that we arrived at was always coming off of all of the courses with a full field on a shotgun start. And we're not doing that anymore, and we also don't have to go directly to Discraft and say, hey, can we get X number more of birth packages? So I don't think we're skyrocketing out of control. I can work people up. Yeah, it's well, what it is like as we've aged out, so many people are getting at that max of 6 now.
Yeah, almost all the births for club requests can be accommodated for just with the clubs that get 6.
Yep.
So it's just that is hit a level where we can't accommodate it anyway.
30% that get hurt, that last meeting don't go to state.
Oh, at minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be over passing out first and then saying we don't have room for you.
Right.
But you end up near 60 for LCQ alone.
We did probably 60 to 70 spots in the LCQ. Yes.
That's what I'm saying, that covers that.
Right, right. I mean, none of the fields filled just in normal reg. There was spots for maybe M2, MA2 did, but there was spots in 1, 3, 4, all the age protected, all the women's, some of those people, they just got in. They didn't even play. The only people who played were the 3s. That was the only division that was actually a playoff, and that was just the bulk of so many of them that were in there. And then the ones that didn't get in popped in MA1. So.
I think the only thing maybe to consider is that as we're overfilling them, it kind of heightens the disadvantage for any events or something. It might already be full. Because if you think about like Worlds, they're way overfilled, but everyone gets the same shot at the same time to try to jump in.
Sure.
So if we are starting to overfill, a later opening.
Well, actually, what I would like to do is a earlier closing date. In all honesty, I would like to say, hey, we're not getting out any more births, after like 6 weeks, like the second weekend of August or whatever is the way I would like. If we had to get to that point, but I'll say we still are not filling any one of those pools. MA2 filled like a day or 2 before registration closed. So I don't think anyone's events were really affected by it, but I think it is something we want to keep an eye on. Absolutely. I mean, because we don't want not even maybe 1 or 2 feature events plus a bunch of clubs have yet to report. Right. And we've also tried to do some things in the past, like hold some of those spots open and all that stuff never really
Got messy.
It got messy and didn't work out real well.
If we're looking at further compounding the problem more and more.
And maybe
No, I agree.
I didn't open registration until Memorial Day last year, which was end of May. I didn't want a number of them to get out in distribution, but we always could push that date back too if we think we need to.
I guess my 2 cents would be, I think later starting date is smart, but I think in general, like creating a buzz that your spot's not guaranteed is never a bad thing from a club and event standpoint. And as us as shepherds of disc golf in this state, like making sure that when we have our featured event or we have our club championship that gives out those bursts, like it is noted, like, hey, you need to sign up this week when you get the email that you're, approved or whatever. Like adding some excitement or worry of scarcity, I think actually helps our registration numbers. But we're hurting our registration numbers.
Yeah, that people want to get a bird early versus just getting a bird.
Yeah, well, and then some people also don't get them and don't register. Oh, yeah, I would say like last year was the first year I was TV of states, and it was also the first time so in the past, Discraft always basically just showed up gave us a bunch of stuff which we bought, and then accesses we gave back. That's how we always did states. Wasn't a whole lot of concern of, hey, we're short 100 spots. We bought 100 of things. Last year, that was the case. We went out, we bought everything in advance from a bunch of other people. And going about 10 days out, I was actually a little bit concerned of how much stuff I had ordered versus how much money. So we ended up being fine. But it was concerning. And if you just people register early, it would make the tournament director feel better.
Yeah.
This is the quantities of I'm ordering things. I mean, I like everything I ordered for a tournament. I ordered 650 of. The umbrellas, the discs, every single thing was 650 of. I had to order these things like, in July. So
I think you had trouble filling it. I know everybody loves the weekend that's on, but everybody goes and does stuff with their family in other places. The Ludington area is double as much on Labor Day weekend, so you're getting people that don't want to spend the money to go up there.
sure. Well, we'll say MA 1, 2, and 3 were virtually full. It's really the Masters pool, the women's pool, and MA 4 that we have to make. We're looking to close, but it is a resort town for sure. Things are more expensive. I mean, it all depends where you're going. Anywhere in Michigan, probably all hotels are most likely increasing the prices anywhere where we're going to host this championship.
Kansas State is also the second one.
It's not filling.
It's not billing, that's because they raised the spots to such high demand.
Well, did I, in theory, could I subtract way down the pools that I have way too many spots in and say it filled? Yeah, I could, but I'm just leaving those big pool numbers for the women's and fours and the Masters to be there. So I could artificially reduce them. That's what some places do. They say we're only offering like 80 Masters spots.
I think that's grown over the years.
We're throwing out 120. Yeah. So, I mean, to say it's filling or not, I mean, it was the largest field we've ever had. So, to me, I guess to say, personally, hey, this event sold out wasn't necessarily important to say, hey, with the most attendance we ever had. Yeah, it all depends on where you want to look at the picture. Yes.
What was the number last year?
586 or something.
So the thought, like we're talking about birds and us as clubs growing and getting to the number of birds, and eventually we won't be able to sustain what we're going to. At that point, I think we just run it like we do one transition year where we're offering 2 different states opportunities, like Worlds does. Worlds, you get to earn your spot the year prior. So we have a cutoff day, let's say it's June 30th. On July 1, if you earn a berth in July 1 in that transition year, you're not doing it for that same calendar year. You're doing it for the next year's states. That way, each and every year, the tournament opens. You have X amount of invites come out, and voila, they're all handed out at the same time. They all get the same opportunity to sign up, and we're good every single year. But I would say it's like right now, we're fine.
I know you're singing like there, but I think that can get really complicated.
No, I understand that, but it's a system. But it's a system that we already have in place with the other events. That's not new. It's known. So again, it's just
Eventually, we're gonna have to do something different.
when we get to that problem, I think that's a
And the benefit to this is you give out bursts in September, October, November, December that are meaningful because you qualify for the next year.
Right. Because limit anybody to the months that we currently
Only
have.
passed them out in 7 months or so. Really sick.
Again,
Well, you can give them away January 1 if you want to physically.
January 1 through
Right,
August.
you always can give them. to your
Yeah,
friends.
I give 'em out
It's
before
not
I
that
physically
big.
have 'em.
Yeah, lots of people give them out.
Oh, they do?
Yep. I do.
You can. You just, would be easy to physically get them, mail them to the people or whatever you want to do, but yeah, the rules state you can, January 1st.
Okay.
It's on page,
Yeah, that's, I know it says that, but I just, you would have to make her in January 1st.
correct, yeah, well, you won't physically have them, but you can award the spots.
Yeah, you want it, but you'll get your stuff when you get it.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Don't have it when you get it.
Well, we don't end the league. Start the league now.
Like March. I see Brett down in the corner. I would love to clear back. The Cowboy stuff all has the same logo on it. I like that.
Okay, good. I was planning on doing something similar in style on some of the stuff. Yeah.
That was cool. No one calls it the States, they call it states.
Yes, they call states. And that part was my idea, but yeah, Dave drew that, and we were gonna do something similar but not the same.
And you were able to sell all the extra stuff or get rid of it?
So we have a number of stuff that's left over. So if you didn't run a feature event last year, you didn't know this, but MDGO bought a box of discs from Discraft from everybody last year to give away as CTPs at your event. So I'm gonna be doing the exact same thing. That left over, like I have some buzzes left over, I have some UV buzzes, I have some umbrellas. And we're gonna take all that stuff instead of buying stuff to give to them. We're gonna use the stuff we've already bought.
Okay.
So that stuff,
It'll get used.
yep, it's something to use. And also we need CTPs for states, because like when you got CTP at state, you're not just getting one disc, you're usually getting like a stack of 5 or 6 discs. So that stuff also we use for CTPs, and I'm also buying extra LEs to help accommodate that too, because we had to buy, once again, we had to buy stuff for the tournament to be able to have all of those CTPs. Because even at the normal tournament where people bring a disc here or there, when we have as many divisions as we have, and we're winning 5 or 6 discs, it ends up being a lot of discs that you need for all that stuff. So yeah, anything we have, I think we'll have mostly gone through by the time I got to the end of where we're at right now. All the 22 stuff, 23 stuff should be gone. So. Yes.
So as we're reaching out to more women and masters and clubs, it might be session for people getting a birth to have maybe like a business card with how to, what to do. Next,
Sure.
As opposed to just just because I know people like as I'm like passing out births at an event, kind of hectic and there's a lot going on.
Sure. So what if I get princess cards and I just gave them to you in a stack, and could you hand them out in your births? Do something like
Just be
that.
part of the first package to tell the winner what.
Yeah, and we've done some stuff like that in the past, but we could do something specifically like
I got you.
that.
A few years ago, there was a piece of paper with her
Yeah.
that said, go to this website,
Yeah.
and it told you what to do.
That's what we're talking about, and we can definitely do that. That'd be an easier way to do it.
Professional, a little bit, like.
Sure.
Yeah, because I have a walker. I had to hold all my people. The process.
Not surprised.
The kind of goes with the territory of.
We're all there with you.
Just
All right,
to take on John's point,
So there,
on John's point, the women's series gave out a little pamphlet to each team, what to do with the bird, what your requirements are, and it worked out very well.
Great. And I like your sweatshirt, by the way.
Thanks.
So is there a motion to amend the number of births we are awarding to basically accommodate all of the requests we have for 2024? All those who are in favor? All right, motion passes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
This.
Did you want to talk about Ann World at all? Okay. Didn't know if you just wanted to like mention it. That's fine. We have some representatives from the Michigan Women's Series here, and they're going to talk about a little bit about the 2024 they have coming up. Who am I handing this to? You can just hold on if you want to.
I talk loud enough, don't you know that, Mark? Anyway, thanks everyone. We are only going to give kind of general information right now because we have not had the opportunity to reach out to each TD who is submitted for a 2024 women's event. Is this even doing it? Getting there. So anything that's shared here, it's tentative, but we are planning on doing 8 total events this year. 1 in April, 2 in May because it's a women's global event year. 1 in June, 1 in July, 2 in August, and the finale will be in September. It sounds like 2 events will not be within the timeline required for the births. So we will give away our births in 6 events, and we will require 2 age-protected births be given out at each event. And the Women's Series plans on kind of tracking to see how those births are going throughout the year and making sure that we then dictate any divisions that may have a little low award levels to make sure that more people have more opportunity to get to states. 16 total applications. There are 2 that we're going to turn into a fundraiser event. We definitely support all of them. We just don't have the capacity to make it successful and make everyone have an event. We tried it one year. It was hard. It was not good. But we do plan on having 1 wintertime fundraising event and 1 fall time fundraising event. So please look out for that if you want to support the Women's Series and other events. We're looking at taking some of our funds and making sure not only each women's event gets lunch and has the required amenities that the series requires, but also we're trying to make it successful so that perhaps it's a pro cash payout type of series instead of just all prizes. So that's my plan. Yeah, also the Women's Series team is growing. We have brought 2 new staff members, Nicole and Jen here. So they will be helping us out this year. We're really thankful because it's grown so much that we do really need help. We can't do our real lives and everything else with this because there's so many people that are supportive. So we're just happy to have had this opportunity to bring it to where it is. And I really, really hope we see it grow more. So thanks to the MDGO for always supporting us. And we do have plans for the burst. Any questions, let us know.
When is your last, the last 2 events you have that you will give birth?
The last 2 events will be at the beginning of August and the end of July.
So I would say if someone happened to have bought a women's only birth and they cannot give it away, probably an awesome thing to do is contact you guys. And you can obviously give it away.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or at any of the other events, because we're still going to encourage everybody who submitted for women's event to still run that event, just not as a part of the women's series.
Yeah,
So
that's all. Some people may have gotten to August and, oh man, I'm going to do my birth.
Right, exactly.
You're like, oh, I'm going to give it away. But then, like,
But then the summer goes so fast.
So, that would be an avenue if you want to be able to, I'm sure it helps you guys in the event to have more.
Absolutely.
Now they're using up 6 for.
Yep.
How many submissions?
16.
Big day.
Which was more than we planned. Always.
So it'll be August or April.
Yep. We do also ask for the women's global event. We do want all of us together as much as we possibly can. We do support anyone else who wants to make their event a women's global event, but we do ask that you first support them coming to one of the women's series events because women have a better time with other women, and will be kind of the series itself will be promoting like an event weekend and trying to set up plans for accommodations for the girls. It is the 18th and 19th of May.
Either one of us.
Any of us, yeah. Jen Sawyer, I'm in Kalamazoo.
Yep. Ashley Bino.
Nope.
Highland.
Highland.
and then Nicole Toll, Grand Rapids.
And I'm Jennifer Kane in Muskegon.
So we're kind of all over. We're gonna try to cover as many as we can with any of us, but that's the plan. We'll see how it goes.
Thanks.
Yay, good job.
Hey, well, Mark's thinking about the next thing he wants to talk about. A lot of you have teams or groups of people that you may sponsor in some way or another, whether that be for your business, your club, or things like that. And it's that time of the year where you're adding a lot of people and you need people in your fold. While you have conversations with a lot of your new players, remember the hashtag play states. I've individually met with about 75 people last week, and in almost every conversation where anyone from Michigan, you reminded them the hashtag play states. Again, we're not saying you shouldn't play the big event after states, but you should definitely play states first. Your money in Michigan.
I would like to say that join your campaign.
Very nice. Let us all unite and play states. Keep our money in Michigan. Yes.
I'd like to remind everybody, pickup day for discs will be Saturday, February 10th at Discraft. February 10th, which is the day before Super Bowl. As always, payments for discs and berths will be due before pickup or at, not had before, but before you physically actually have them in your hands picked up. Also, just a reminder, if you can't make it, you always can have someone else pick it up for you, but you need to make sure you've paid for it and let somebody know that, hey, these people are picking up for us. And we'll do it as we normally, as we've done the last few years. You just show up. We already have all your stuff in a box or some packages, and you pick it up and go. I am also looking at maybe getting something special that you guys would just buy the day of, a small quantity of, kind of a doorbuster type of thing. So I haven't worked that out with Discraft yet, but just as an FYI, something where I'd probably just tell everybody that, yeah, extra discs that are not on the order form. Something, you know, I'm not so sure. It will not limit to 500. I was telling you we're getting at least 500 of everything. That's all I was letting everyone. Oh, 5 of, and those were the ones that I only had 250 of. Those were the 2023 buzzes from this year. So, and by the time we're done, and I give those away as the CTPs to the clubs, I've actually sold more than I wanted to, I think. So, which is fine. We're not nowhere near my total, but I was like, I don't know if we're gonna sell more than 100 of these. We're over 100. So, Yep. And as we normally do, we'll publish in a few days the schedule of you ordered these discs, it costs this much. You ordered these berths, it costs so much. In the past, we've done it all in one spreadsheet to begin with, but now we kind of separated them out and we'll have to merge them back together. So it's going to take us a few days to do that, and we'll get that all posted up for everybody so they can know well in advance how much they owe. It'll be everything. All right, so just want to go over this again. So for states, 2027, we are looking for a new host club, most likely / city, to run the 2027 states. I would like to bid this, however, like close to this time next year, maybe it would be in January type of thing. What I want to do is how I typically make a lot of our documents. I kind of work on it and then I send it out to some people, get some comments back. I go and make some changes. I'd like to have all you guys to look at and have a bunch of questions, comments, concerns. By probably mid-August, I would like to have something that's fairly concrete that all you guys can look at. And that would give us a few months to hopefully hammer out whatever we'd like to hammer out on this process. So this, since Am States is an A tier, and at the level of players it is of an A tier, the PDGA does really like if whomever the new TD in the future is, that they can be on the staff of that event to hand it over to. So that's what I would like to do. So I'd like to bid this sometime in 2025, in early 2025, and then we would know who the new club organization, who their staff, major staff people are, and then I would like who the tournament director to basically come and be on the staff of Am States for 2 years, so they can see how it all works, what they think they may like to do, may not want to do, because not many people in this organization has run an event that large. So it's kind of hard to come in, fresh off the street and say, this is what we're going to do. Because lots of times there may be lots of things going on in the background that you've not thought of or considered or know what's going on. So I'd like to bring some of those people into the fold for a good 2 years so they can get a really good solid handle of it. And then hopefully in 2027, we would not see much of a switchover process, because the lead person will have been around for 2 years, and maybe the person who's leading this has been on the staff this whole time. I have zero idea who may want to run this. But the goal is to get it through 2026 in Ludington. So I just wanted to bring that up with everybody, how I thought the process would go. Never. Nope. So what was that? Oh, correct. Yep. So in 2026, no worries. In 2026, we will have reached the 30th year at the States at that location. Nope. So basically, in the past, there was no other really clubs that thought they really wanted to run it, and as well as Discraft, our sponsor, has invested a bunch of money up there in all those courses, and had pretty much, made it known that they would like to see states continue to run there. We've talked with Discraft; they know 2026 is the last year to have it there, and they were fine with that as well. So, no, there's never been a vote, but it's always been, there wasn't a bunch of push to get necessarily to get it move around, and lots of people say they want to move, but there's also a whole lot of people who don't want to move, but they aren't they aren't very vocal about it. So I'm not saying that there isn't some value in it having maybe being moved in the past, but that's the place we've always hosted it, and that's the way our major sponsor wanted to have it, and so that's where it's always been. Correct. Because I mean, right, this is it nearly broke me last year. I'll tell everybody. By the time I was done, and then I was crazily burned out, and I had to go to work on Tuesday. So it consumed first of all, just overall, it consumed my life. But that last like 3 weeks, that's all I did. I took the week off of work before up there to go up there and work on all the courses too. So ideal in the future, maybe that's not a big a thing, because maybe there's more established courses where the place is going to be, and maybe you don't have to make any changes, but it seems like there's always a course issue somewhere that we have to do something with. So it would be, I'd say yes and no. The issue is there's so much prep work and all that stuff that needs to be done on the courses, and that is what really the Ludington crew is looking to get released from. Okay, Travis. Yep, Travis. Yep.
So as of last night, once it's done in Ludington, it's done in Ludington. You guys gotta take it. So there might be changes going on. Who are you speaking for, though? Speaking for Mason County. Okay, what she said is there's some other group that's up there that they wanna put in a bid. That's what I'm saying. It can't be once we're done 2027, it's done in Ludington.
The courses that they. Oh.
Yes, correct. We have meetings coming up.
That's why I put that aside, finish the club.
I'm just a messenger.
Yeah.
The only one that can make it. Is it the parks that are tired of it, or?
They don't maintain that.
Oh, yeah.
Mason
The-
County
the-
Club
We do,
maintains
we want
it.
everything. Parks have nothing, we don't have to state for nothing, nothing. We do all the mowing, we do all the trimming.
Well, yeah, why don't they do anything?
That's the
That's
conversation.
what my
They got
thing
park
is.
board meetings all the
Sorry, I
time.
didn't disagree on it.
No, I'm just trying to
Right,
understand.
no, yeah,
what's going on.
I'm not being mean, I don't know these things. If I had them, I would.
Well, because you're talking about in overall, like, why does the Mason County Recreational Committee, that's who runs the parks.
Yeah, I guess I can. County rec.
So, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's a park, an actual park through the county.
Oh,
But they don't maintain it. All the equipment there is ours. So the paths, the baskets, the signs, that's all our equipment. We're just using their land pretty much. And
Yeah.
that's everything up there.
Yep. So yeah, where are you out of? Okay. Yeah. So, it all depends on where you're at. Like, say like a more urban courses, maybe like Ann Arbor or whatever. They have like big park departments. They can pay to maintain all that stuff. But you all see that lots of places like a little more rural where they don't have all the time and money and people to maintain it. So if you want to have a course, you have some people who can mow your courses for you and you pick up all the garbage and all that stuff. So yeah. I have zero idea. Yeah.
Jeff is the only one that doesn't work full time. He's on a mower every day, all day, probably 6 days a week. Doesn't constant. Never has any time off.
So you have no idea in the future how many kids might.
I am going to reach out to some clubs or regions and see what their thoughts of. I have no idea.
Sounds like we need to bomb the Mason County Parks Commission. That is ridiculous.
There's well,
I would highly suggest I would not a county. I highly suggest like the local club handle that because the politics is very.
yeah.
So I know that the Mason County Club is very smart, very active.
Jeff's working diligently.
And when Jeff is on the board.
Yeah, I would. I don't think we should bomb it.
Yeah.
He just had a medical emergency. He couldn't make it. He would have better
Yep. So I just wanted to have a little discussion. And yeah, this is a gigantic, and also maybe some area wants to run it, but they don't necessarily have all the people, but they're maybe willing to do the background work. And so maybe they could say, hey, Mark, do you want to run this for a year or two? Which I don't. But I'm just saying is it could be run kind of how it is now, where there's a club who in the background who does a bunch of the work, and then you're bringing in a staff of people to run that event for you. So we have 6. You probably need at least 6. Yeah, 6 18-hole courses. So
It could be 40 miles apart from each other.
yeah, absolutely they could. Play one round. Yeah. You can push out a little further than you normally might if you're running multiple rounds a day. 1 round a day for sure. I mean, there's no written rule, but you don't want them to be super far apart from each other. But yeah, I can't say they need to be X miles apart. I mean, PDG.
Here in Ludington, some of them are what, 40?
Yeah, it depends on which way you're at going. Yes, Miles.
So I think the thing that everybody has to consider about this change of states, the fact that the area that it's going to be run in should have at least 6 courses. You also have to think about lodging for the people that are coming in from out of town. You have to think about their entertainment. What are they going to do when they're not on the course? There's a lot of moving parts to consider for this change. Not to mention that this change in venue away from Ludington could also potentially change the maximum amount of births that can go out. It could change the entire birth process.
It's going to change. In 3 years, we have to change.
The birth process in itself can stay the way it is, but the total number of births that can be awarded depends on what area we're going to, how many courses are we. We also have to consider you need a TD on each individual course. You need staff on every single course. There's a lot of moving parts here.
Right. And that's why I wanted to bring in someone really early in this process. So.
Food for thought for the change of states in a couple of years.
Sure. I mean, I would say there's lots of places where I can see it being there, but I don't know if there's a will of that region to get to do that. So Well, thing is though, we will know that way in advance, and that's also another reason why I want to bid it way in advance, because I don't know, maybe we'd have to split it into 2 smaller like pieces, and maybe small like there's so many divisions here, so many divisions. I would hate to do that. I don't know. We've built a big beast, and I don't know what the future of that, how far that goes. I'm signed up for the next 3 years, and I'll get us to wherever that is going to be. But after that, I would like to maybe play one more time. I am 1 for 1 on state championships played in and aces in the tournament. 1 for 1. I got $20 for that ace. Yeah. Well, that's back when the Masters pool was only like maybe 60 people, but there was like 5 aces in my pool, maybe 6. It was crazy. So, why don't we take one more? Oh, yes, Chris. That's what I'd like to have out to you guys, a pretty solid draft by August for all of us to look at, comment, and talk about, to ideally having a bid for it around now-ish, maybe in January 2025, actually bidding it. So that would give us, everyone having eyes on it for a good 3 to 4 months before we would bid it. So that's where I think we're going. Sure. Yep. Yes, Brett.
I just a thought for anybody who we're talking about this. It might be a good idea, being that these are most cases public parks, municipalities, that you bring the municipality on board to see what they're looking at. Because like we said, next year this time, we're hoping to have somebody have a bid on this, take it over from Mason County. Well, you as a representative of this club understand what you're getting into. Your municipality may or may not, and they might shut you down before you. So if you're interested, maybe you might want to have communications now with them and bring them in the fold so that they can see it before.
Right. My thoughts on this is I'm going to mimic a lot of how the PDGA bids their worlds, and that is one of the things you have to do. You have to have letters from all of the parks we're going to be running the event, that they're supportive of the event, and blah 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 blah. And yeah, that way they know in X number of years we're hosting this big event on this course, and it's not like something you're telling to them, 4 months in advance. Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to have this gigantic event here in your town.
I have one county manager and I have one township manager that would sign off right now, but knowing that this requires more than just 2 potential courses, I wouldn't even know the other 4 names I had to get involved right now.
Yep, but that's my thoughts. This is really a world's level event, so I'm trying to mimic a lot of the stuff that they have in theirs for our use, where it's applicable. We are bigger than Amworld's, correct. So I do believe it was a top 10 attended event this year for all events. There's only a couple that were bigger, and of course one was also in Michigan, was DGLO. So why don't we take one other quick break, and then I have some rules stuff for you guys all. This is a shorter version of what I'm doing in February for the update, but I have some stuff that is immediate. Yes, Chris? Oh, we are going to do one more raffle number when we come back. Oh, wait. What now? What? Oh, you want to raffle something more off? Yes. Yeah. I thought you want me to draw another raffle number. I'm going to.
Confetti cannon.
Oh. One. Holy smokes.
So that was interesting. Yeah, but they did not play the home game right now. That was the thing, like, so they said, like, Washington, we didn't have. We will not play the Rose Bowl, we'll not play the opposite. This is opposite. Yeah.
But not playing that UCLA. Right, yeah, exactly. That's so that's why I was hoping that. I thought they would be also showing up. Day, like, Atlanta party. Oh, yeah. It's like a 96, 71. Yes. Right. There is a fly. The guy that runs it is out of Illinois. Yeah. Sends me an email link to sign up for it. You know, it's tricky. Yeah. Turn out all stars. Nothing. But not necessarily. Oh, yeah. No, right. I know when those start all the other
I'm always questioning the brand. Where do I go? It's the home.
I mean, when you get 40 people,
All of the yeah, so some people have done.
And this is just to sell it, my turn.
Whatever you want to do with all.
And then, so like I buy a six twelve, which
So you did the flex structure, then you have to
thank you.
Well, let's see what.
Yeah, I did some for you guys last year. I tried to make it.
Oh,
Oh my God. I don't know how that works. I didn't use it. What's that? But that's the going thing nowadays, is they work. But like after 2 hours, I guess they take her out and they want to pay county for extra money. They just scan a QR code. They tell
I know I'm coming.
What's that?
Right now, they always say, it's like,
Really?
Sunday.
This year is 2023.
Right.
We'll see. I'm already paid.
Oh my God.
I don't know, but it's not right. I give all my secrets. That's how I do it. Kind of.
I bought some sweet potatoes, and I think I had one potato left over, but it's tasty.
I've had one.
Okay.
So you have to show them it's enough. And then on top of that, what the thing pros. So when the pros sign well, you can just go see it. Okay, I can print those off. I've been up with those also.
Yes, I finished one of my campaigns.
Oh, nice. It's moving to Dara?
No, couple mock forum.
Oh, yeah. I'm seeing that online.
It's a gladiator game, it's a campaign game.
I brought those for the, what I thought was the raffle draw.
So anyway, so you know, like there's campaign. 24 months. So yeah, so we do 24 scenarios. Not all of them are for combat. Some of them are. Condense it down to quick forums. Quick forum. Streamlined version of that. Even that was still. Session. Still a lot, but not all are like there's a couple of matches. That's if you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you're like in the other like skirmishes, so you're just not down. So that is a purely solo, and it's a version of the actually the first game was Hopalocus. That was a 2-player versus, or there's also a range robbery. So they basically
Yeah.
Another version of that.
Yeah.
Right. That's also more for solo. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I open it, organize it, I gotta get that.
Well, it's just neat how he like does everything. Artwork, game design, like for that game, like it's either if you can't be or bought it. There's like this CD of music this composer wrote. Oh wow. But also like look, voice that I know. I forget what album comes out. Some lady she wrote all. Oh yeah. I have a Burn Cycle, which is another chip game. So yeah, there's Spotify, and it's all like dark.
It's got all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I see
You play everything.
Yes, I watched him play for a minute, so.
Made all these things like without telling us. Totally breaking the game. We didn't win either game.
They are basically you that affects Restoration games. Hey, Brian Frawley. I need 2 more random numbers. Yeah, we're popping this in here. No, I did pay a room cleanup fee, right? That means it's now 11 and 4. Now, all right, so this is kind of a subset of in January. Miles, you know January? What January? Yeah.
Yes, because I mean that's more impossible.
It's the 27th. Okay.
Yes.
All right, January 27th, I will be once again hosting my tournament director / league manager summit. This year, Oxford Parks has graciously allowed us a use of their room in the township hall. So we'll be actually hosting the meeting there. Oh, sorry, it's the park office, not the township hall. And as well as Seymour Lake is very nearby, so we'll be playing a round of golf before the meeting if people want to go. But we're going. Usually, what happens in these things is I have a number of speakers who will come in and talk about some topics that are relatable to both tournament directors and league managers. And one of them I usually do is a big rules thing. So changes. So I'm gonna go over some of the changes for 2024. These are not all of them. These are just the ones I thought may affect you guys the most. This is probably the biggest one on scorecards. Starting 2024, if you have a group of 4 players, there has to be 4 scorecards. Either they're digital or paper, it doesn't matter what. Every single person on that card is keeping score. So the big reason for it doesn't matter what type of tier. C tier, doesn't matter. X tier, if it's sanctioned, you're doing a scorecard for every player in the group. It can be paper or digital. There just has to be 4 cards. And if people want to know why, because people are saying, hey, why are they doing this? It's basically to eliminate cheating. And they've really busted down on it with the digital scorecard, because if you guys haven't played in a group where everyone, like multiple people are keeping score, as soon as the 2 scores don't match, it kicks up an error.
There were some instances how people logging on to the score and changing the score from a different place.
Yep, and So all that stuff has. Well, first of all, what I don't do is I don't the day before I don't tell my PDG online scoring card. I only tell people on site. When you show up in the morning, I have it on a board written. Here, this is the passcode. Or if it's on a paper card, I stopped putting that out there to everybody the night before or 2 days before. Hey, this is the code for scoring. If that does happen, I mean, the PDGA knows because we can kind of track down and fix what's happened because there's a digital footprint of all that, like what the whole score was originally, what someone changed it to, so we could get it restored if we needed to. But that's my recommendation: is stop floating that code out. Yes. Yep. So the refusal to keep score may submit. They may be disqualified for refusing to do that. So, like I said, it's paper or digital. It doesn't really. It's your choice. They're still not forcing you to do digital. You have to keep a scorecard, paper or digital. So the only thing that just remind you the first few tournaments of the year, remember you're gonna write out a bunch more scorecards if you're doing physical cards. And I would also maybe think about adding a spot of this scorecard is assigned to this person. That way, now you might have a big huge stack of them. I'll get to you in a second, Brent. And maybe you're gonna have to go through them and find out whose is whose, because everyone's gonna have the same 4 players on it if they all are paper cards. So maybe you want to think about a change to your scorecard, with a person's name that you assigned it to. I don't know.
That's if there's 4 paper scorecards.
Yep. Correct. Some places may not.
Doesn't turn in his paper scorecard that you gave him.
You mean so like they were supposed to keep a paper scorecard and they didn't?
4 guys go out and play on a hole.
Yep.
3 people are on the phone. The other guy takes the paper scorecard.
He turns that in.
He didn't turn it in.
Oh, then that's the standard. It's also covered. That's the standard. You didn't turn your scorecard in 20 minutes after. It's a 2-stroke penalty.
Each player has to submit
Yep.
their scorecard, not take score. There's not a option of, oh, I took score and I just didn't turn it in.
Correct.
No, everybody has to submit their scorecard, otherwise they're subject to that.
Yep. Yep. So I don't know if anyone in Michigan does this. I haven't seen it, but I'm just bringing it up. You used to be able to, at C tiers, totally randomly assign your field, as in a card may have an MA1, MA2, MA3, MA4. Another card might have 2 MA2s, MA1, MA4. You used to be able to throw them in a big mixer and put them. They want you to like your division cards together. And obviously, you might have a group of MA1s and MA2s, and that's okay. But they're saying is they want most of the division playing together, not separated out on every single scorecard on the whole on the course. So that I don't think that's an issue here in Michigan. I haven't seen it, but it must be an issue elsewhere. It is a rule. There's a rule next year. Yeah.
So if you got 2 people in one division, you got to put them in another.
And that's okay. I'm talking about every single group is mostly together. So, I get that, but you probably also don't take your MA1, like you don't have your group MA1, MA2, and MA3 and MA4. Even if they're playing the same scorecards,
They're all together for the most part.
yeah, and they're talking about a total randomization of the field. You used to be able to do that as a C tier. You cannot in 2024. I don't know why anyone would want to do that, but it does.
It does allow the newcomers to see what the difference is.
I guess.
I can see
Yeah.
where if you had a bunch of people that were coming in, where that might show them
Yeah.
exactly, give them more education than putting them all with each other.
Tiebreakers. There's been changes to the way ties are broken. Basically, there are 2 ways to break a tie. Which the one probably everyone thinks of is the standard sudden hole playoff. So that is spelled out explicitly how that works. But there's also called the aggregate score. So maybe at your event you would like all playoffs to go 4 holes. As long as you are stating that in advance, that is an option for you, up to 6 holes. So you can say the aggregate score through 4 holes, and whoever's winning at that point is the winner. It's not a sudden death. But once you get to your 6th hole of play, and they were still tied, then it is sudden death. So it does give you an option. If you don't want to do a 1-hole sudden death playoff, you can create a multiple hole playoff. You cannot do a CTP for it, no. Yep. So just letting you guys know that is an option for you. I remember a long time ago I did the aggregate one. You're supposed to have gotten permission to do that in advance. I did not, and that was the last time I did it. But I've done it. I mean, you're going to get, if you want to go that way, some people like it, some people don't. This is something that you want to consider how you would like your event to go. But yeah, but even that's sudden death. Yeah, we're talking about like aggregate. You play formal holes, you add up your scores, and where you fall, you'll fall. So check in. So this is for people who have tee times. So they're saying all players must check in with the starter and be present at the start at the starting hole 5 minutes before the tee time. I will say at DGLO, that was an issue on certain people who were getting there seriously right as their time to tee. And that is the big impetus of why this rule got changed, is because multiple pros were getting there right at time or not at time, and it became questionable. It came into question at DGLO when I was a starter. You guys may have saw the big to do about it. Yep, he was not there at his starting time. He was not there 3 minutes after his starting time. Yes. Yes. I reported it to the marshal, to the tournament director and the marshals when it happened, but I think they ended up not giving him a penalty. It wasn't my penalty. So, but yes, yeah, 100%. Yep. I will say though, his tee time, he was still putting, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter. But now 5 minutes before ahead of time, the player is supposed to have checked in and be at the hole. They can't check in and go wander off. They need to be at the hole, that starting hole 5 minutes for the tee time. The penalty is the same as missing your tee time, which is par +4.
If you show up like a minute before did you get to play that hole? Or it's just
no, it says in the rules, if you're not there 5 minutes, it's as if you were not there for your tee time. Only courses with only one tee times. Yep. Yeah. Anything. I mean, there's a number of events that have tee times. I think probably most of the A tiers probably have you right? Yeah. Sure. So this is a change for those of you who do not do your payouts on site, as in you have a shop helping you with your payouts. So previously you had to keep those payouts on their books for 6 months. So players had 6 months to go get their payouts. They've ramped that all the way down to 30 days. Players now have 30 days to get their payouts. So you may want to have that go out in the email that those get sent out in, just alerting the player that this is only good for 30 days now. The rule says you also had to make a good faith effort in contacting them. I take it they mean contacting them a second time, saying, hey, your payouts are good till X day, you have to get them. So maybe something where you want to keep track of, like, 2 or 3 days before these 10 people haven't got their payouts, send it to them. And if they don't come in per the rules, they're not due that payout anymore. So I know 6 months was probably a long time for some people to have those payouts out there floating around. So they've tried to streamline that down. So that's down to 30 days. And those are most of the rule changes I want to go over. There's a lot more stuff I'm going to go into depth. I think that's kind of the big picture stuff that affects tournament directors the most. Does anybody have any questions about anything like that? All right. Oh, yes. Hmm? You mean did they create that D tier of them? You mean? They did not.
No. I think there's wording in there specifically that's like for a shotgun start event.
So it's not applicable.
You can still have a flex star where random divisions.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're talking about a complete randomization